Buongiorno and welcome to another edition of Meet Your Neighbor. My name is Ron Falconi. I had this idea back in the fall of 2006 where I wanted to invite people from the community and local politicians and business leaders to come down to the studio so all of you could meet your neighbor. We have a special guest today. He is a return guest to Meet Your Neighbor. He's a state representative for this area for the 69th Ohio House District, and he's also the House Minority Leader, and his name is Bill Batchelder. Bill, welcome to the studios again.
Ron, it's good to be back with you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Bill, can you refresh the memory of people who are watching in Brunswick or in Brunswick Hills? Can you tell us something about yourself?
Well, I was born and raised here in Medina County, and I was first involved in government in 1967 when I was the administrative assistant for the lieutenant governor, and then I was elected to the House in 2008, and I served there until 98. Pardon me, I said 2008. Pardon me, that was 1968. Come on, and then I was there until 98, and then went on to the Court of Appeals.
Okay.
And then I went retired from the Court of Appeals, and then went back to the House of Representatives.
Okay. Okay. Bill, can you tell us why do you want to go back?
A lot of people have asked me that, especially since the budget is totally out of balance and some other things. I had, first of all, I enjoyed the work of the House of Representatives,
Sure.
drafting, and there's a wonderful constituency here in Medina County to serve, so that was a big part of it. But also, we now have term limits, and what that has done is to limit the experience and background of people. And I'd had 30 years experience in addition to the judiciary,
Sure.
and I felt I could be of help in the House, and I've always gotten along with people in both parties, and so it was an opportunity to go back and maybe help people so that we have a strong House of Representatives. It's very important.
Oh yeah. Bill, can you tell our viewers what is the 69th district encompass? Which parts of Ohio or the county or what?
It's everything north of the southern tier.
Okay.
So it's all of Medina County except Wadsworth through Homerville, which
Okay.
is the southern tier of the county.
Okay. People know what a county commissioner does. I've had a county commissioner come on in the past. I've had a judge come on in the past. Can you tell us what does a state representative do?
The basic function, an important function, is to prepare legislation, to be prepared to respond to other people's legislation, and to really do the laws of the state of Ohio. And that's a very big responsibility, obviously, and it also covers most of what people face in the terms of their relationship to government. The major crimes that people are charged with in this state are from the state. The operation of the schools is funded and so forth by the state. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very important level of government, but it doesn't get much attention. The newspapers don't pay as much attention to it, and usually radio and television don't pay that much attention unless there's something like gambling casinos or something of that sort that draws people's attention. So it's really a very important area, Sure. But it's one that a lot of folks don't hear much about.
Bill, can you tell us what are some of the important issues that are facing the 69th district right now?
Well, here in the 69th district, of course, we've had a growth pattern that has been very strong. When I went to the House in the 60s, I believe that we had 64,000 people in the county, and today we have 168,000 people, as best I understand it. So we've had tremendous growth, and that's meant that our local governments have to be much more responsive and responsible, and they have done that. Obviously, had they not done that, then we wouldn't be growing as we are. I think personally that the 69th district faces challenges that are good challenges. They're challenges of growth. They're challenges of people who commute from here to colleges. Those are good kinds of things,
yes.
As opposed to the problems you have, say, in Cuyahoga County, where obviously the FBI is all over the place and everything else. We don't have that kind of government here.
Sure. Bill, if you were reelected, can you give me three things that you would do?
And we've been working on this already. The first thing is to try to fulfill the state's obligations to its people by balancing the budget.
Okay.
At this point, The Ohio Constitution requires a balanced budget. At this point, the budget is, in my opinion, out of balance by $8 billion. That's 17% of the whole state budget.
It's $8 billion?
$8 billion. Wow. And that is going to cause terrible problems for schools, local government, and so forth. A lot of the things the state does are passed through. In addition, we're going to be facing, I think, difficulties in the criminal law area, which have to do with the overcrowding of our prisons and that sort of thing. And then finally, I think we're going to face challenges in the area of education from kindergarten through college, because we're going to have financial problems that are going to cause difficulties there.
Bill, in this most recent term, what is your proudest accomplishment?
I think it was a tough session because we didn't have enough money this time either.
Sure.
But I think in the most recent session, it would probably have been the effort to get the two caucuses to work together. I think that's really important. We ought not to have government divided by political party. And I've had a good long relationship with a lot of folks in the other party, and some of them are still there. They've come back or whatever. And so I think that was probably the most important thing. The session before, we did a rewrite of workers' compensation. At that time, I chaired the insurance committee, and the speaker sent the workers' compensation redo bill, if you will. We changed it dramatically in how it was run. And so I think we were able to do some things there that were very important. I'm concerned in this next session about unemployment compensation. We're in a bad way here in Ohio in terms of how much money we owe the federal government that we borrowed in order to run the unemployment fund.
Bill, where do you live?
I live in Medina.
You live in Medina, okay. And how long have you lived there?
All my life. I live a block from where I was raised.
Oh, wow.
I live on Smith Road, and I was raised on Washington Street in Medina.
Are you married? Do you have any kids?
I am married. My wife, Alice, I'm very proud of her. She's the presiding judge on the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. So she has jurisdiction in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Wow. And
at one point, she was considered for the Supreme Court of the United States. And our two children, Bill is the older, and he is finishing his PhD in medieval history.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure, Ron, he's going to get a signing bonus. I mean, after all, medieval history, it's got to be a draw. And his wife is a professor at Drexel in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And they have a little girl who is constant motion. And then my daughter has a little girl also, and her husband teaches at Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, and Elizabeth works at the federal court. She's an attorney, and she's a clerk at the federal court in Akron.
Okay. Can you explain your educational background, Bill?
Sure. I went to Medina High School, which when I was there, graduated 142 in my class, and boy, the world has changed. And then I went to Ohio Wesleyan, and I was active in debate and history.
What did you major in Ohio Wesleyan?
History and classics, Latin.
Oh, wow, okay.
Very, very, I'm like my son. I have a definite opportunity there to get a great job. And then went on to the Ohio State University College of Law.
Okay.
And I was on the national moot court team there. So that was
nice.
That's kind of, it's like being a football player in high school, only not as physical. That was fun.
Bill, what are some of the things you like to do for fun?
Well, I'm a reader. I used to run quite a bit, and then I got heel spurs, and I find that that's not really so compatible, so I can't do much of that anymore. And then I spend a lot of time just on the work of the General Assembly. It's complex, and we had 2 bills over 2,500 pages this last session. I try to read the bills front to back. So that keeps you busy, no question about it. And I also work with a lot of young people who come in as interns and so forth. So that's fun.
Hey, Bill, as you know, I like to play a game of fill in the blank for all my guests here.
Okay.
The one place I want to travel to is blank.
Wow. I'd like to go back to free China on Taiwan. They've grown dramatically in recent years, and it's an amazing place. We were there in the 80s, and it's fascinating to watch people who save 25% of their income and who work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and there they are, and they have a wonderful attitude toward their government.
Where in Taiwan did you go?
Well, we were in Taipei, of course, the capital,
yes.
and then in Kaohsiung, which is the steel-making center
Wow.
of that area, and those are really wonderful people. They escaped from the communists, of course,
Sure.
and went to Taiwan to live totally
Run
differently.
away from the communists
Yeah,
in 1949.
Exactly, that's right, 49, yeah. And what they've accomplished there is remarkable.
Oh, yes, yes. Bill, the thing I love most about Medina County is blank,
It's the people.
the people.
We have wonderful people to work with, and
Sure.
I know more than came in here, and I stuck you with a constituent problem, and I like to like to hear from constituents and do things with them.
Sure.
And then also, we just have wonderful people who want to do good things for the community, whether they're actually in government or not. It's a really wonderful place. I talked to some of my colleagues, and I can't believe how difficult it is to serve some of the areas in Ohio.
I can imagine. Bill, the person that I admire most is blank.
Well, at this point, I guess I would say Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
He-
Why President Reagan?
Well, I was his campaign director in Ohio in '76 and '80, and
Wow.
had a chance to, in some way, be associated with him.
Oh.
And he was just worried about doing good things for America. He didn't have any particular political ambition or anything of that sort. And I think he did do very good things in terms of economic growth and those things. And
Sure.
so I hope we can find another one, because we do need a president who wants to create jobs and those kinds of things. We really need them badly right now.
No, I agree with you 100%. Bill, can you give any neighborly advice to people who are watching in Brunswick Hills, or maybe people watching on the internet right now?
My goodness. Well, one thing is, if they have a problem, I hope they'll get a hold of our office down in Columbus. We do a lot of constituent work, and I've been around so long that I know a lot of the people who run the departments, and so I can actually make contact with those folks, and it's very satisfying. I think another thing that people in Medina County should be thinking about is there's a reason they came here, and they should do what they can to be certain that what brought them here is still here when they're gone or retired to Florida or whatever.
Sure.
It's a great place.
It is.
And we really ought to do everything we can to make it continue to be that.
Oh, yeah. Bill Batchelder, State Representative for Ohio 69th District and Ohio House Minority Leader. Thank you for coming down to the studios
Ron, it's
again.
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks, Bill. My name is Ron Falconi. I'm the host of Meet Your Neighbor. I wanted to thank Representative Batchelder for coming down again to the studios to sit down and chat with us. This ends my first show here at the new Bat Studios in Manhattan Avenue. I wanted to thank Representative Batchelder, the Bat staff, and I would like all of you just to go out there and meet your neighbor. My name is Ron Falconi. Ciao.